The art of not forcing, Wu Wei. Soft water conquers hard stone. Ancient Taoist proverb. What if all your strenuous effort is precisely the reason you're not moving forward? I know it sounds counterintuitive, but stick with me for just 40 seconds and you'll discover why the Tao is inviting you to release, not to push harder. The Chinese sages millennia ago uncovered a secret that shatters everything we were taught about achievement. True power isn't in the struggle, but in the effortless flow. Today we're going to jointly explore Wu Wei, the mastery of non-forcing, across 3 powerful insights that will radically transform your relationship with hard work, burnout, and that perpetual feeling of swimming against the current. And if what I share today deeply resonates with you, consider joining our membership community where we delve into these practices weekly with exclusive material. But for now, take a deep breath and allow yourself to receive this ancient wisdom. Because maybe, just maybe, the problem was never that you weren't trying hard enough. The issue is that you were pushing in the wrong direction. Close your eyes for a moment, or simply soften your gaze, letting go of the rush you've been carrying since this morning. Visualize the mighty Mississippi, the vast Colorado River, or the majestic Columbia River winding relentlessly through canyons and plains. The current never directly confronts the rocks in its path.
It doesn't fight. It doesn't push with fury.
It embraces, flows around, and subtly bypasses them with a silent mastery only time can grasp. Its strength isn't in brute force to defeat solid granite, yet, over centuries, that gentle but persistent tenacity manages to polish the stone, shape it, transforming it into a deeper bed for its own passage. This is Wu Wei, and here's the kicker. It directly contradicts that entire hustle culture, the no pain, no gain dogma, the perpetual sacrifice sold to us as the sole path to success. But wait, Wu Wei doesn't mean doing nothing. These 2 Chinese characters literally translate as non-action, but pay close attention because its meaning is profoundly misunderstood. It's not an invitation to laziness or the notorious American habit of procrastination. On the contrary, Wu Wei is acting with maximum efficiency but without inattention. Means moving through life with the least possible friction. It is achieving your aspirations without falling into the exhaustion of the mental grind that makes us sick. Analyze the skill of a seasoned Olympic gymnast or a Brazilian jiu-jitsu master. Do you see the effortless fluidity in their movements? Their effectiveness relies not only on muscle power, but on their ability to evade the strike, to use the opponent's momentum and redirect that hostile energy to their advantage. They move with the grace of a professional ballroom dancer, utilizing the other's force.
That is the secret: momentum, not muscle.
The venerable Lao Tzu put forth an aphorism in the Tao Te Ching that challenges all our beliefs. The sage does not rush into actions, nor does he intervene aggressively, yet nothing remains undone. Everything completes itself in its own time. Does that sound illogical to you?
Irresponsible even? I get it.
But this paradox dissolves when you can distinguish between intelligent effort and stubborn obstinacy, between deliberate action and the futile struggle that only causes emotional and physical exhaustion. Think of an accomplished jazz pianist or a virtuoso violinist. Their hands don't battle with the instrument. They move with such natural harmony that it seems the melody was already alive in the wood, simply waiting to be revealed. There is no resistance. There is no fight.
Only pure expression.
That is the difference between creating from Wu Wei and creating from the ego that demands immediate returns. Taoist masters saw water as the most sublime teacher of all the elements. Notice this: it's the most malleable, the most adaptable, and seemingly the weakest. Yet it is capable of eroding, dissolving, and wearing down the hardest rock. Water unreservedly adopts the shape of any container, whether a small teacup or the largest hydroelectric dam in the country. It flows without resisting. Now here is the question that might sting you. What is your habitual reaction when you encounter an obstacle? Most of us push with anger, fight with frustration, and repeatedly crash against the same wall. Water, on the other hand, simply flows around it. It infiltrates the cracks, or it waits patiently until the path opens on its own. It doesn't seek confrontation. It seeks intelligent adaptability. Water is devoid of ego. It has no strict agenda. It doesn't need to assert itself to anyone. Its power resides in its simple state of being. And by being that way, it achieves everything, shapes everything, transforms everything without noise, without fanfare, without wearing itself out. Lao Tzu reinforces this truth by declaring, "The softest and most flexible thing in the world overcomes the hardest and most unyielding." And precisely here lies the cardinal lesson for us in the Western world. So prone to ambition and excessive striving, genuine strength is not born from harshness of character or blind obstinacy. It arises from the supreme capacity for adaptation, from mental and spiritual flexibility. Real efficiency doesn't originate from forcefully imposing our will against reality. It originates from the conscious acceptance that things have their own timing. The Tao is the invisible way, the natural current that runs through all existence. It is the rhythm of life we feel when we drive on the open highway with the windows down, letting the tempo of the universe guide us. The cosmos possesses its own cadence. Some call it destiny,
Others, synchronicity.
many simply understand it as the natural order. Wu Wei is the invitation to fine-tune your inner ear, to synchronize your spiritual compass, to perceive that cosmic tempo and begin to move with it, never against it. Releasing the reins at the precise moment is the deepest act of wisdom that exists. And that brings us to the next level of this revelation. Now reflect on the cycle of the seasons, an unparalleled teacher of patience and perfect timing. Spring exerts no pressure on the buds to burst open immediately as if it had a strict deadline. Its function is limited to creating the optimal environment, the right light, the necessary moisture, the appropriate temperature. And with that, the flowers blossom by their own accord, in their exact moment, without rush or resistance. Similarly, winter doesn't dramatically strive to be winter. It doesn't complicate its existence. It simply is manifesting in its essential form, and in that existence it fulfills its ideal cycle of rest and renewal. There is no struggle. There is no grind. Only pure manifestation. And now comes the question that might hit home. How much of your daily pain is a product of fiercely opposing your immediate reality? How much of your frustration comes from battling your own identity or your current stage of life? What proportion of your valuable energy is dissipated in efforts that yield no results because you're trying to force something that is not yet fully mature? A large part of your exhaustion isn't simple fatigue. It is misdirected resistance. Wu Wei proposes a radical shift in mindset for you today. A bold experiment. What if instead of imposing your will at all costs like an obsessed taskmaster, you create space to allow things to manifest? What if instead of staying entrenched in resistance, you humbly surrender to the flow of events? What if you abandon the obsession with absolute control and instead place your trust in the greater process? This principle doesn't advocate for passivity. It's not telling you to sit and binge-watch TV while life passes you by. Wu Wei calls you to act, to make decisions, but from an entirely different core, from full presence and expanded awareness, not from the fear of scarcity, from mental clarity, not from the disorganized impulse of anxiety or the need for external validation. Herein lies the sage's paradox, moving with conviction, yet without the burden of the outcome, acting with purpose but without clinging to the fruit of your labor, doing without forcing, creating without controlling. And this is where the sublime paradox of Wu Wei manifests, the execution of effort that, despite its intensity, doesn't feel like a heavy burden. It is doing without the weight of forced action, It is action without friction. Surely you've experienced those magical moments where life glides effortlessly, where your concentration is at its peak, but there is no internal tension. Athletes call it being in the
Zone. Artists describe it as the state of
flow. Spiritual traditions simply name it divine grace or connection with the whole. It's that moment where the individual I vanishes. The internal voice demanding perfection goes silent. Anxiety over potential failure dissolves. The ego, with its perpetual need for recognition, calms down. And only the natural cadence of the most aligned movement remains. Flow is the proof that your inner self and the universe are dancing to the same beat, to the same rhythm of life. This, my friend, is Wu Wei at its highest expression. And here is the secret that changes everything. You don't have to desperately seek or force the arrival of Wu Wei. What is actually required of you is to stop putting up obstacles, stop resisting, to stop interfering with its natural manifestation.
Wu Wei is not a destination.
It's not a prize you win after years of rigorous meditation. It is already there in your deepest essence, in your pulse, in your breath. It is your original nature, the one you had as a child playing freely in the yard, without analyzing every step, without self-judging, without forcing outcomes. We have simply forgotten how to reconnect with that state of spontaneous joy and effortless action. And now, in this very instant, we are going to remember it together. Let's perform a simple but profound exercise.
Right now.
Don't put it off until later. Breathe. Just breathe. Notice how the inhalation and exhalation occur on their own, with perfect automation, without you having to force them. Your body possesses an organic intelligence and innate wisdom. It knows how to breathe perfectly. It has been doing so without your conscious help for your entire life. This simple act is Wu Wei in its most essential form. It's proof that the universe works through you without your anxious intervention. The body is the first master of the Tao you must learn to listen to. Breathe again, deeper, into your belly. Feel the air enter without you pulling it in. It leaves without you pushing it out. There is a dance happening right now between you and life.
A dance that requires no choreography.
It only requires that you do not interfere. Do you feel that?
That softness.
That absence of struggle? That is Wu Wei. And if you can breathe this way, you can live this way. Now bring to mind that goal you are pursuing, that dream that is costing you so much effort, that complicated relationship, that stalled project. And ask yourself gently, without judgment, as a sincere friend would, am I pushing with rage or am I allowing it to flow? Am I anchored in resistance or am I opening my heart to what needs to happen?
Am I trying to force the door or am I dancing with the process?
There are no good or bad answers in this exercise. There is only pure observation, genuine curiosity, and total openness to the possibilities that life offers you. Wu Wei is not incorporated in a single day. It is not learned with a quick tutorial. It is a lifestyle that is chosen, a constant discipline, a permanent reminder that it is possible to live with more grace, more lightness, more harmony, even amidst the chaos of modern life. Your greatest job is to stop interfering and to trust the cosmic choreography. You don't have to fight with life daily, with your boss, with your circumstances. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You are not obligated to manipulate every outcome to fit your rigid expectations. You can release the reins and trust the natural movement of the Tao, in that invisible hand that orchestrates events, in that universal intelligence that is infinitely wiser than your calculating mind. You can flow with the certainty that it will take you where you need to be. You can finally become the water, soft in appearance, flexible to change, yet intrinsically powerful in its constant movement.
Absolutely natural in its essence.
Without seeking the spotlight, without needing external validation. The next time you find yourself caught in the struggle, in the grip of resistance, just pause, breathe deeply down to your stomach, and bring to mind the ancient wisdom of water, the silent resilience of the bamboo that bends without breaking, and the eternal wisdom of the Tao. Remember this as if it were a mantra. Sometimes, the most powerful act you can perform is that of meditative non-intervention, the act of letting go,
of allowing,
of trusting.
Wu Wei.
You don't have to fight with life anymore. You don't have to break your back carrying what doesn't belong to you. You don't have to force doors that aren't ready to open yet. You can simply be the water, soft, flexible, but unstoppable in its core. You can move with grace even when everything around you seems chaotic. You can act without the burden of forced effort. You can create without the weight of obsessive control. Because, as Lao Tzu said over 2,000 years ago, the softest and most flexible thing in the world overcomes the hardest and most unyielding. And that, my dear friend, is the most liberating truth you will hear today. The Tao doesn't ask you to seek it. It asks you to stop interfering with its manifestation. Wu Wei is not a final goal. It is a homecoming, a return to your original nature, to that state of flow you already know but had forgotten how to allow. If this message resonated with your heart, if something deep inside shifted as you heard these words, I invite you to share in the comments what has been your greatest experience of flow with Wu Wei in your life. We love reading your insights, learning from you, and building this community of seekers who dare to let go in order to truly gain. Give this video a like if this wisdom served you. Subscribe to keep exploring the Tao with me every week. And if you want to go even deeper, join our membership where we share exclusive practices, guided meditations, and content you won't see anywhere else.
Keep this guide handy.
Return to it whenever you feel you are pushing too hard. Every time life invites you to resist, remember the wisdom of the water.
And always remember, the river doesn't fight the rocks.
It embraces them,
It transforms them.
and it continues on its path with a grace that only time can teach.
I'll see you in the next video.
Until then, flow on. Wu Wei.